Hello everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain episode 257. I am Andrew Eisen. I hope you're well. I hope you've been well. I hope you continue to be well. So, before we get to anything else, it is that time of year again. What time of year is that, you may ask? It's Extra Lifetime. Well, I mean, we're still about a month out, but I've officially launched my event page for the Extra Life 24-hour video game charity marathon, which starts at noon Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, November 6th. So, plenty of time yet. So, let me put in the chat the link. There's the big link. You can also get there extralife.org/participant/Andrew Eisen. So let me take a few minutes, because it's my podcast after all, and walk you through a couple of the really cool things we're going to be doing this year. So, what will I be playing during the 24-hour video game marathon to raise money for Rated Children's Hospital here in San Diego? Metroid Dread. I would hold up a copy, but it isn't out yet. So, but I should be getting it in the next week. Ronan, one of my patrons, very kindly donated it. So we'll have Metroid Dread to play for the bulk of the stream. As in years past, we'll also be doing that thing where donors can submit Super Mario Maker 2 levels for me to play. Everyone really seems to enjoy that, so I've brought that back this year. One of the big gimmicks of this year will be a drinking game. So how that's going to work is for every $100 we raise, I will drink a new unique beverage on camera during the marathon. And you get to help me decide which beverages I drink. So, make a donation of any amount and put in the message field of the donation form the drink that you would like me to drink. And if I can get it, I'll try to get it. Just keep in mind, nothing alcoholic. It has to be available in single serving size. So if it's only available in like a 2-gallon jug, I'm not buying it. And it has to be something I can find here in San Diego. But any soft drink, coffee, tea, energy drink, protein shake, whatever, feel free to make any level of donation, and you can give me some suggestions for drinks to pick up for the event. And it doesn't have to be any like dirt cola or something like that. It can be, but it can also just be, hey, this is just my favorite drink, and I want to know what you think of it. During, I think, the game stream last weekend, a few were talking about, I think it's called Iron Brew or something like that. Unfortunately, probably not available here in San Diego, but yeah. So make a donation, suggest a drink for me to drink, and we'll do a drinking game. It'll be fun. Some of the milestones we've got the typical, if we raise $500, we'll go an extra hour, so 25 hours of charity goodness. $600 we'll play fitness boxing, which is that boxing game on the Switch. And my sister will be here this year. She won't be here for the whole thing. She'll be arriving late. Vegetable Insta drink? That sounds lovely. My sister will be here Saturday evening sometime, probably around 10 o'clock. Because, she has to work. She'll get here when she can. But we'll play some fitness boxing too, and try not to punch each other in the face. $800, we will do a live reading of Ellipsis of Love, a steamy adult story based on Trails in the Sky, written by our own Brian Gillis. So that'll be fun. $1,000, I'll play, what is it called? Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash, which is the Bikini Girls squirt gun game. 1,200, and we will tour my sister's island in Animal Crossing. and we'll publish the dodo code for her island while we're streaming. So if you have the game, you can come and visit. Jared says a smoothie. Though it's fine too. Whatever. Also, everyone who donates 25 or more will get sent the dream code for her island. So if you want to check it out beforehand, you can. Pardon me. The name of my sister's island is Kumquatia. Kumquatia. Oh yeah. You want to visit now, don't you? Yes. So, going up from there, we just have some fun stuff. 1400, I'll try to play video games while balancing on an Indo board, which is a plank on a barrel, so it's a balancing thing. Can I play video games without falling and breaking my neck? 1600, I'll attempt to play video games while wearing snow gloves. That should be interesting. 1800, we'll play Chubby Bunny. That really disgusting game, the party game, you know, where you stuff marshmallows in your mouth and try to say Chubby Bunny. Yeah, fun. And at $2,000, hey, you see this weight bench back here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what you're thinking. At $2,000, we'll see just how much my sister can bench. Don't worry. I'll spot her. So, let's see, what incentives we've got. We've got, so as I mentioned, donate any amount, and feel free to recommend a drink for me to drink. Try to give, like, a full name, like, maybe where I can get it. Maybe link to a product page, you know? I mean, if it's just, like, Pepsi, I can find that. But, you know what I mean. Alright, so, donate $10 and you could submit a Super Mario Maker 2 level for me to play. $25 and I will thank you by name every hour during the marathon. I'll also send you the dream code for Kumquatia, my sister's Animal Crossing island. $50 you can submit an entire Super Mario Maker Super World for me to play. And also donate $50 and you'll automatically be entered in a raffle to win an original digital fan art of a character of your choice. By our own Lindy Lee. I don't have any of her art samples queued up to show you right now, but if you click the link in the chat and go to my page, I have a few samples, including last year's winner, which is of Breath of the Wild's Link in his dancer outfit, and it is amazing. So you're definitely gonna want to join in on that raffle. So $50 enters you in the raffle. Every additional 25 gets you another entry in the raffle. And once you reach $100, every additional $10. So the more you donate, the more entries you get, and the greater your odds of winning one of Lindy's wonderful illustrations. What else do we got? Oh, anything could change in the next month. Who knows? But as of right now, Super Metal Dave is scheduled to come by for a visit again. We've all been vaccinated, so we can actually have special guests again. It'll be wonderful. Jared says, I was talking about the green smoothies that has a week worth of supplement. Well, a green smoothie that has a week's worth of supplements? Holy crap. So, there you go. extralife.org/participant/Andrew Eisen. We're still a month away, so, you know, don't worry about, oh gosh, it's November 6th, so we're a ways off, so no worries. But that's the plan. Metroid Dread, Super Mario Maker 2, drinking game, raffling off Lindy Lee's artwork. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I'm going to try not to fall asleep. Alright, so what next? So, this week hasn't been the best week for me. I've had some personal unpleasantness this week. And, oh, the vegetable instant drink usually homemade. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if there's like a particular drink that, it doesn't have to be an actual store-bought drink. I mean, it could be, here's the ingredient list, make this, and as long as it doesn't cost like an absurd amount of money to get the ingredients for it, that's an option too. Sure. Didn't think of that, but sure. Yeah. I mean, if you want to give me the ingredients for a root beer float or something like that. Yeah, that could work. Anyway, so I am a flawed individual. My flaws are myriad. And so this week, I was really mean to someone on Twitter. And I should not have been, because being mean is mean, and you shouldn't be mean. So, my sister's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Kelly. Something I only just realized, I think, last Sunday. I was like, oh, God, my sister's birthday's on Friday. Oh, no. I didn't get her anything. But now I know what I'm getting her. I know what I got her. And it's a present in multiple parts. And she got part 1 on Friday. So I ordered her 2 gifts. And from Amazon. 2 gifts from Amazon, and I'm getting my... There we go. And they shipped separately. On Thursday, they shipped separately. Or rather, on Thursday, one had shipped and one had not. The one that had not shipped yet was scheduled to be delivered the following day. The one that had shipped was scheduled to be delivered sometime between October 15th and November 1st. Which is kind of weird. So I went on Twitter and I wrote, I ordered 2 things from Amazon for my sister's birthday. One is not yet shipped, but is scheduled to be delivered tomorrow. One has shipped, but is scheduled to arrive between October 15th and November 1st. Okay. Anime, hello. Apparently you're checking out the art samples, Lindy's art samples that I put on the page. Yes. Her stuff is good. And that was Lou who won the raffle last year, and commissioned selected the dancer outfit. Link. That's wonderful. All right, so I wrote on Twitter just pointing out that 2 things had shipped. The ones that one thing hadn't shipped was coming tomorrow. One thing had shipped is coming in several weeks. Weird. Whatever. Just kind of a funny observation. Amazon Help responded. Now, keep in mind, I did not tag at Amazon Help. I didn't hashtag anything. I wasn't replying to anyone. This was just something I put on my Twitter page. Amazon Help replied to my tweet and said, "Hi there! We'd like to help in any way we can. For insight, have we missed the estimated delivery date provided in your order confirmation email?" So I responded, "I appreciate you offering help, even when it wasn't specifically requested, but it deflates the good intention when this reply is either a bot or someone who didn't actually read what they're responding to. No, you didn't miss the estimated delivery date. That hasn't happened yet." A needlessly snarky reply, I admit. I was pretty certain that this was a bot. That was just, in fact, this right here actually might be a bot. That's just, scrubbing for the word Amazon and giving one of several pat replies that seems to be the most relevant. Did we miss the estimated delivery date? No, clearly you didn't, because nothing's been delivered yet. Because the delivery date is still in the future. Tomorrow is still tomorrow. We're not at tomorrow yet. We're still in today. Tomorrow isn't till tomorrow. And October 15th to November 1st, ooh, that's weeks away. So, no Amazon Help, no. You didn't miss the targeted, the estimated delivery date. And if you are a real person who actually read my tweet, you'd know that. So again, needlessly snarky, but maybe not deserving of a slap on the wrist. Yet. Hello, Momo. Amazon Help replied, "Apologies! We completely understand your concern. Please keep us posted on the arrival of your items." Now this is where I start being an asshole. I responded, let me read their tweet again. "Apologies, we completely understand your concern. Keep us posted on the arrival of your items." I responded, "Do you? Do you understand my concern? Completely? Okay. Bluff called. Exactly what is it you think my concern is?" Well, now I'm just being an asshole. Again, I'm pretty certain at this point that this is a bot. Still, no need to be rude to Siri. Amazon Help responds, "We understand that you've ordered 2 gifts, which are expected to be delivered separately. Apologies for any inconvenience this has caused, as that's never our intention." Well, I am now convinced that at least this particular message is not a bot and is in fact an actual person. Nevertheless, I was still being an asshole, and I responded, "Uh-huh. That's the premise. Now what is my concern? You know, the one you understand completely?" Yeah, now I'm just being a dick. And that's not really called for. Amazon Help did not respond to that, nor should it have. I was being a dick. And I very heavily considered, an hour or so later responding, "Yeah, that's what I thought." But by that point, I had recognized I was being a dick and decided to stop. Better late than never. So, I believe at least the last tweet was made by an actual person. And I don't imagine the person who made the tweet is incompetent. I imagine they are doing their job exactly as they are directed to do it. Which is why I decided not to snark and sass and just be a jerk. And just leave it alone. So we can all learn things from this. Number 1, don't be an asshole. There's no need for it. But also number 2, unsolicited help can be appreciated, but it is important, if you're going to offer help unsolicited, that you actually read what someone wrote in the first place. Because while Amazon claims that it understands my concern completely, I don't have a concern. It's lying. It's bullshitting. Had Amazon simply said, "Hey, we're sorry your shipment got separated in 2, that's never ideal. Is there anything we could do to help, or any questions you have that we could answer?" That would have been fine. I'd have said, "No thanks, I'm good." But that presumptuousness that, "Oh, we understand your concern." No, you don't. No, you clearly don't. Because I don't have a concern. And you clearly didn't read the damn tweet in the first place. Had you, you wouldn't have asked a question like, "Did we miss our delivery date?" No, clearly you didn't, because it hasn't happened yet. Tomorrow hasn't arrived yet. Hey, Rerum. So, Amazon help is, falls short of the ideal. And I'm an asshole. So, Amazon help has room for improvement, and so do I. And what do we got here? Oh. That's good. Okay. Where is my... There we go. Now we're going to talk about a topic suggested by... Who was it? Lou. So I asked for topics on Twitter because I'm in a mood. Probably had something to do with me being a jerk on Twitter. So I didn't have really much to talk about this week. But Lou pointed out something, a small news story that I had missed. And I thought I would talk about it now. So let's talk about Bandai Namco. Good old Bamco! So, Bandai Namco used to be two separate companies, and they joined forces years back and became Bandai Namco, and that's its logo in the upper corner. Well, thanks to Lou, I now know that they have changed their logo. Would you like to see their new logo? Oh, I bet you would. Now look at the logo right now. It's fairly simple. It's nothing really. It's not ostentatious. It's not overdone. It's two shapes of complementary color overlaid over each other with clear block text of Bandai Namco in the center. It's clear. It's readable, but it's also unique and recognizable without being garish. At least that's my very, very humble opinion. So, how can you improve on this? What could you do to make a new logo, a new statement? Well, you could do this. There it is. That's the new Bandai Namco logo in all its glory. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, sure. It's readable. I can read it. It's simple. It's a choice. So let's read about Bamco's new logo. Our current logo, says Bamco. Looks like the TBS logo, yeah. Our current logo, says Bamco, expresses the fusion of Bandai and Namco that was created when the two companies integrated. It will be replaced with a new logo that reflects our new purpose. All companies with Bandai Namco in their names will use this logo, and in principle, companies with and without Bandai Namco in their names will display this new group logo in all their products and services. This will enable us to bring together the value of all of our products, services, and labels under one logo, and elevate the brand value of the Bandai Namco group in the global marketing. The new logo's speech bubble motif, Fukidashi in Japanese, expresses the potential of the brand to connect with people around the world and inspire them with amazing ideas. The speech bubble also represents Japan's manga culture that has become so popular everywhere. The logo stands for our determination to communicate with fans worldwide, to connect with our fans, and to create entertainment unique to Bandai Namco. The magenta used as the motif color not only represents diversity, but also creates a bright and fun impression and is easy to reproduce. Being a cynical asshole, I think it's that last one that was really the driving impetus behind the logo change. It's easy to reproduce. Bamco maybe saved 2 pennies on printing. Magenta is probably what is in your ink, your color, what are the color cartridges in your inkwell? One of them's magenta, isn't it? This is probably just cheaper. It's simpler, cheaper, and easier to reproduce. But even if it's not that, maybe if I'm just being a needlessly cynical asshole, I do appreciate that they apparently put a lot of thought into this. You know, it's a speech bubble to represent our communicating with our audience. The magenta color is meant to represent diversity, and okay, you put some thought into it. That's fine. Jared says bad. Yeah, it's kind of boring. It's a little. I appreciate simplicity, but this is boring to me. Hello, Chaos. Reverend says they put way more thought into the description of the logo than they did the actual logo itself. Hey, Chicago, yeah. Yeah, it does kind of sound like that, doesn't it? They talk about their new purpose, but they never really describe what their purpose is. They allude to it a lot in this press release. Here's the, fundamental to our purpose is the idea of connecting and working together to create things. Bandai Namco's entertainment connects fans all over the world by delivering fun to the people everywhere. We put smiles on their faces and help them achieve happiness. That's why Bandai Namco exists. Sure. Our purpose clearly and succinctly expresses how we've always sought to connect with our fans everywhere, developing and sharing with our fans and creating innovative IP products and services, blah, 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 blah. Okay, one more thing to show off. There are a couple of variations on this logo. So the two on the top with the little tag, Fun for All into the Future, that's going to be used on their, their letterheads and corporate crap. And the ones without it will be primarily like on the video game boxes and stuff. So they do have a stacked version of the Bandai Namco logo also. But yeah, that's. Jared says a 6th grader made this for art class. Top right is okay. Yeah, I mean it's. I actually prefer the stacked. It looks more like a logo rather than someone just circled a piece of text. And honestly, it's which one they use will probably just depend on which one fits better on whatever they're stamping it on. But Lou, thank you for bringing this to my attention. It's not a big deal, but it's kind of fun to look. I could, I like the old Bandai Namco logo. I think the colors are really towing the line of being a bit garish. Not quite there, but that, yellow and orange is, it's recognized. I think they stay on the right side of the line with that one, but maybe something like that, just, tweak the color values a little bit, maybe add some of the magenta into it. Honestly, I think that last bit with the, where is it, it's easy to reproduce. The magenta emoji, it represents diversity, creates a bright and fun impression, and it's easy to reproduce. Black, magenta, those are both distinct inkwells in our color printer. we save about 2 cents per logo at Kinko's. Oh man, how many thousands of dollars did they pay someone to design this logo? This is not a big deal. It's fine. They changed their logo. It's a little bland. Honestly, I would. Oh man, I am such a cynical asshole. I honestly think it's probably just cheaper. It was cheaper for to. But I can appreciate that there was a lot of thought into it. I never considered magenta to be a color of diversity, but okay, sure. But then again, I've never understood the whole, what color are you? What's your aura? I don't know. Black? And what do the colors mean? You know, you give someone a rose, but depending on what color it is, really changes its meaning. I don't know what any of that is. So, I could look it up. I could. I'm just lazy, and I don't care. And the whole speech bubble thing, it serves our communication. It's like, oh, yeah, sure, okay. Get that, sure. Anyway, so Bamco. Bamco. Alright, what's next? What are we talking about next? Okay, so I did watch episode 8 of What If. It's the first of 2 parts, so I don't have a ton to say about it, except I've observed that my preferred What If episodes are the ones that are not following the plots of existing stories. So I enjoyed the second one, the What If T'Challa was abducted by the Ravagers. I enjoyed the what if the Avengers were killed off? What if basically, the further it gets away from the beats of an actual film, the more interesting I find it. And that's a tough line to straddle, right? Because it has to touch on existing mythology in some way, otherwise the what if portion doesn't work. It has to be, what if this established thing were changed somehow? So there has to be an element of familiarity there somewhere. But I enjoy the ones that don't just, hey, what if, for example, the first episode, the Peggy Carter one, what if Peggy Carter got the serum? Well, you still get the first Captain America movie just with Peggy Carter. And it's still cool, but it's pretty much the same movie. Like, if you've seen the first episode of What If, you don't really need to see the first Avenger movie now. You've pretty much seen, you got it. You've pretty much seen it. So I still enjoyed it though. I'm looking forward to what happened, to the What If conclusion next week. So yeah, enjoying it pretty well. All right, moving on. Dark Souls. As I mentioned, not a great week for me. So I may be done with Dark Souls. I may not. I may go back to it later when I'm feeling better about things. Matthew. Hello, Matthew. Don't think I've seen you around in a little while. Hope you're well. I'm definitely in the minority, but I find all the Marvel stuff to be cotton candy, aka empty calories, and need more than that. Lol. Okay. Are you in the minority? I think... Well, here's the thing. I like cotton candy. So, there can be such a thing as too much cotton candy. But I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at least, does a pretty nice job of making very different forms of cotton candy. I mean, you can tell it's cotton candy made by the same cotton candy spinner. Boy, my analogy's going off rails already. But there's some wildly different tastes. And they do some really unique things sometimes. The cotton candy's always pretty damn decent. They haven't made a bad batch yet. There's been some lesser cotton candies, but it's pretty much been cotton candy. Some of it's actually been really great. Holy crap, that's really good cotton candy. But yeah. There are while I wouldn't call the various Marvel projects samey exactly, there are certainly commonalities in the approach and aesthetics that may wear on your patience, or may not. I think so far, for the most part, they've been doing a pretty decent job with, okay, this one's kind of a Western, this one's kind of a political thriller, this one's more of a monster movie, this one's an epic space adventure, this, you know, it's worked for me. Certainly not going to work for everyone, but no thing ever does work for everyone. But yeah. Chaos says pure escapism. Reverend says not big on Marvel either. I'm a big superhero dork, so yeah. I mean, I'm pretty easy. I'm an easy mark. I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to superhero stuff. Speaking of which, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but I've missed out on a bunch of maybe half of the DCU stuff that I really need to catch up on. The ones I've missed are the ones that look bad, though. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm a big dork for superheroes, so you know. Let's see. Did anyone see Babylon 5 is getting a reboot? Yep, saw that. What else is getting a reboot that surprised me? It's a horror film. Slumber Party Massacre. Apparently, I think Sci-Fi Channel remade Slumber Party Massacre. Okay. I'm down. Saw the trailer. It looks like it's going to be, you know, gory. Really, if you say I'm remaking Slumber Party Massacre, I go, oh? If you follow that up with it's PG-13, I would say, oh. Never mind. Because am I the kind of person who would snobbishly look down his nose at a PG-13 slasher movie or PG-13 killer shark movie? Yes. Yes. I'm not watching your PG-13 porno either. Because if your porno is PG-13, then you're not showing any of the stuff I'm watching a porno to watch, right? If you're making a PG-13 slasher or killer shark movie, it's not going to contain any of the reasons I watch those movies. So what even is the point? From what I understand, there was one company that makes adult films. Don't remember which one. The Great Adult Film Company, Inc. In the 2000s somewhere, they were known for doing feature, high budget, by adult film standards, porn films. Usually parodies of, like, Star Wars and the 2000 stuff. So like, parodies of Pirates of the Caribbean or Lord of the Rings. That kind of era. Apparently they were making a bunch of this stuff. And apparently, because at some point I ended up on a newsletter that describes going-ons in the adult industry, they'd taken many of these movies that were quite highly acclaimed in their own circles and had edited them down to R-rated features. I don't know why. I mean, are the movies worth watching without the attractive people boning? I mean, bully on you if they are. I would be genuinely surprised. I don't care enough to actually check it out, but always been odd choices for me. Well, actually, they remade Black Christmas. They remade again. Actually, they remade Black Christmas again a couple of years ago. This time as a PG-13 movie. I saw it. It was okay. Black Christmas is... they were doing something pretty different with that particular remake that didn't really require hard gore, especially not the kind you saw in the 2000s remake. But it did. It was an okay movie. I don't think it was entirely successful, but I enjoyed it for the most part. But it was, I feel, hamstrung by its R rating because there were a few sequences in the film where I couldn't tell what actually happened. Because they couldn't really show what happened. There's a scene, you find the girl in the attic and the camera slowly pans around her face and then cuts away and I'm like, did she have something stuck in her face? I think she's dead, right? I mean, she's probably dead. I'm sure she's dead. I think she had something stuck in her face. I don't know. The camera, it's PG-13, so they couldn't really show it. That's a shame. You never want your audience confused as to what they actually were looking at. There's a great scene, a genuinely great scene at the end of the movie that involves a building full of people getting lit on fire. It's actually a really great moment of catharsis for the audience and the characters, because they turn the tables on the bad guys and light them on fire. At least I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because it's not really shown and you kind of have to mentally fill in the blanks yourself. I was supposed to be talking about Dark Souls, but whatever. And that's unfortunate, because that neuters that really effective conclusion and moment of catharsis that that the film was building up to and absolutely earned, but got hamstrung by its inability to actually show what happened. And that's unfortunate. Can you do a horror movie at PG-13? Yeah, sure. Yes, you can. Can you do a slasher movie at PG-13? I would argue no. Unless somehow it's, the slashing is not really the point of the slasher movie. Same thing with like a killer. It's one of the reasons I never saw Meg. I read the book by Steve Alton. I read the sequel to was it The Trench, I think. They're poppy fun books. I like it. I like them. Big shark munching on people. It's cool. Then the movie with Jason Statham came out, and I said it's PG-13. I'm like, why bother? You have a giant shark, but you can't really show it eating people. Maybe it's actiony fun. I mean, the way the book ends is our hero, who's not Steve Guttenberg. Why did that name pop in my head? No, it's not the guy who played Riddick either, whose name I'm also not thinking of. Vin Diesel. It's not him. It's no, is it Vin Diesel? No, wait. Jason Statham, right? Yeah. Jason Statham. In the book, Jason Statham's character gets in a submersible, drives down the shark's throat, then he gets out and he starts stabbing it in the heart with a knife. I don't know how they end the movie, but that's pretty awesome. So I don't know. I'll admit I didn't bother with the Meg because it was PG-13, and why would I want to go see a PG-13 killer shark movie? You're not showing any of the things I want to see in a killer shark movie. I go to see a killer shark movie. Gall darn it, I want to see people get ate by a shark. But then again, I do really enjoy Jaws. It's one of my top 5 favorite movies, and if that were released today, would it be rated R? Probably not. Probably be a 13. I think Jaws is a PG, actually. I don't think it's rated R. But you also see a dude get munched. There's actual gore in that movie. There's a severed head. There's a severed leg. A kid gets et. A dog gets et. The dog just disappears, but the kid gets full blood geyser. It's pretty great. So, anyway. Anyway, looking at the chat, Werewolf says Winter Soldier's my favorite Marvel movie. Favorite? Ooh, that's a tough call. I think... I don't know. Some of my favorites... I've not yet seen Black Widow or Shang-Chi. Black Widow actually comes out of Premiere Access in a couple of days, so I'll see that pretty quick. Shang-Chi got pushed back into November 18 or 20, somewhere around there, for Disney Plus's anniversary. Some of my favorite Marvel movies, though, I really do like Winter Soldier, but some of my favorites are Thor Ragnarok. Surprisingly, one of the Thor movies ended up being my favorite. Black Panther, the Guardians of the Galaxy, especially Guardians 2, I think, might edge out the first one. It's easier to say which Marvel movies would you probably never bother watching again. Probably Thor Dark World. Probably original Thor. They're okay. The original Thor is fine. Thor has a lot of great moments, especially because at that point we love a lot of the characters already, and you get a lot of mileage out of that. For me, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is a genuinely, unbelievably bad movie, but I already like the characters, Rey and Finn and Poe, so it's still fun to follow them on their adventures, even though the movie sucks and doesn't make any sense. So you get a lot of goodwill, a lot of mileage out of good characters that you like. And that kind of helps Thor Dark World, even though the movie doesn't totally work. Incredible Hulk is okay. There's a lot I like about it. Doesn't totally come together, but there's a lot of good stuff in it. I would argue that none of the MCU movies are outright bad. A couple that I'd probably never... the first two Thor movies I think are pretty forgettable, even though they've got some good stuff in them. I had a big problem with the first Spider-Man movie, Homecoming, and I don't remember what it was. It was like a really significant problem. It was like a significant thematic problem, and I don't remember what it was anymore. Oh well. Still need to catch up on the DCU movies. I really want to see The Suicide Squad. I'd like to see the David Ayer one too, but The Suicide Squad just looks like a ton of fun. Really looking forward to seeing that one. Other than that, the ones I haven't seen all look bad. So at some point, I'm probably just going to have to bite the bullet, get a month of HBO Max, and just watch all the ones I've missed. Anyway, let's see. DC's Reverend's more DC than Marvel. Cool. Matthew says, I like superhero stuff, just think the Marvel stuff to me is the least interesting form of superheroes. Okay. I mean, compared to what, though? I mean, it's Marvel and compared to DC, fair enough. But I guess if you consider Sony a separate entity, well, yeah, I mean, and Fox, were at least doing, the X-Men movies and Fantastic Four. That's all back at Marvel now, though. So, okay, fair enough. Reverend says there's going to be a sequel to the movie with twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito called Triplets. Tracy Morgan's... They've been saying that for a long time. Is that actually going to happen? Chaos, a big Winter Soldier fan too. Yeah, it is a good one. It's a really good one. So Dark Souls, which I started talking about 20 minutes ago, then got sidetracked. Hey, I didn't think I'd get an hour out of this podcast today, but it looks like no problem. It helps when you're a very verbose person. So, Dark Souls. I'm, for now anyway, done with Dark Souls. Did I beat the game? No. I just got fed up with Dark Souls. Where we left off when I was talking about it last week is I had got to the fight with the Golden Boys. The big one with the hammer, smaller one with the spear. It's a wonderful fight. It is incredibly well conceived and designed, but, as I mentioned last week, every single problem the game suffers from manifests itself in that fight. Which gets to be just really irritating. So I really only tried the fight like a dozen times before I just kind of got bored. I got pretty close to beating it like 3 times. Like I got down to the last guy on my second try. And it was a matter of, oh, his butt stomp is area of effect. Okay, good to know. Got down to the second guy again. Oh, that is a really big area of effect. Okay then. You know what got me the third time? The butt stomp again. It's just really, really wide. I saw it coming, and I ran, and I rolled, and I ran, and I still didn't get out of range. So I was like, okay, I need to like bring my spells and long range stuff into there because or use something that, because I'm using a club, I need to use something that I don't have to get so damn close, so that I can, so I can get out of the way quicker. But I got kind of annoyed with the fight because, again, all the problems with the game, the camera getting stuck on things, enemies clipping through walls, enemy attacks clipping through your shield, enemies clipping through solid objects to hit you, enemies changing trajectory in midair to track you, enemies not abiding by the rules of stamina and spamming the same heavy attack multiple times in a row. Stuff like that. All of that manifests in that fight, and it just gets really annoying. So I decided to just go play elsewhere in Dark Souls for a spell, just to do some other stuff. So one of the things I thought was my pockets are overloaded with all kinds of different weapons, and I've been using the same razor wire wrapped club for most of the entire game, so maybe I'll try some of my collection of spears and halberds and great swords and hammers and all kinds of stuff and see if any other weapon speaks to me. So I saw a sword that looked really neat, but my dexterity was like 2 levels. I needed to be dexterity 18 and I was dexterity 16 or something. I'm like, okay, well, while I'm playing with some other I'll play with some of my other weapons while I don't know why snapping helps, but it seems to. Play with some of my other weapons while I grind up my souls, and at that point souls are like 30,000 souls, or levels are like 30,000 souls per level. So I found a crystal halberd, and it had some nice stats. And I read the description, and it says it's very fragile. And I looked at its durability, and its durability was 20. Now, most weapons have like a durability of 100. What that means is, after a couple hours of smacking things, you're going to have to go repair your weapon. But the crystal halberd it's crystal, so it's very fragile. So you're going to have to repair that more frequently in exchange for its very nice stats. It hits hard. Okay, so I dumped my Titanite into that thing and upgraded it to Crystal Halberd +5 and started whacking things in the noggin with it while I ground up my souls so that I could up my dex so I could try a different sword. And shortly, my durability for my +5 Crystal Halberd fell to 5, which means it's going to break soon, which means it's also not doing the damage it used to. So I go back to my fire, and I'm going to repair it, and there's no option to repair it. Maybe a blacksmith has to do it. Okay, so I trek all the way to the nearest blacksmith. No. No. I happen to have a bag of repair powder on me, so I use that on my Crystal Halberd, and it did restore 1 point of durability. So I guess I would have to go buy 15 bags of repair powder. I don't know how much they cost, but that probably end up being kind of expensive. So I looked it up online. Yeah, you can't repair crystal weapons. Would have been nice to know before I dumped a shit ton of Titanite into it to upgrade it to +5. That was a complete waste of resources. I mean, at least I got a PlayStation achievement for it, but that's annoying. And it's not like it said it in the description, like, cannot be repaired, and I didn't read the description, so he, you didn't read the description, it says it right there. No, I read the description. There's nothing in the game that says crystal weapons cannot be repaired. Well, that's kind of crap. I wouldn't have bothered if I'd known that. Now you got me in a bad mood, Dark Souls. So at this point, I've got like 20-some thousand souls, working my way up to 30-some thousand, whatever I need to level up. And to die. 'Cause it's Dark Souls. It happens. So I very carefully make my way back to where I died so I can collect my souls. And I engage in a fight with one dude. And I take a bad hit, so I disengage. I walk out of the room through the doorway, around the corner, and I start healing myself. Like a smart person. Well, the guy I had engaged in the room was having none of that, and stabbed me. Through the wall. So I died. And I lost my 20-whatever thousand souls that I'd spent the last several minutes grinding up. Because in Dark Souls, enemies can see, track, and attack you through walls. Shouldn't be able to, but they can. And at that point I said, okay, I'm done. You beat me, Dark Souls. I don't want to play you anymore. I'm old now, and I'm no longer willing to put up with such poop. Which is a shame, because I really, really love so much about this game. I really genuinely do. But god damn it. I really wish that... Who did the remake here? Ah! Look! It's Bandai Namco! I really wish our friends at Bamco had spent a little less time working on their new logo and a little more time remastering the important stuff in Dark Souls. I've never played the original PS3 version, but I'm guessing that the graphics, the visual presentation is about the only thing that's been remastered. They could have remastered the controls, because the controls are a little weird. The action buttons are on the shoulders instead of the face, which is workable, but it's an odd choice, and one I've never really gotten used to. I still would hit the wrong button occasionally. I still kind of had to consciously think about what button I was hitting. It was never really natural. They could have remastered the camera, which constantly gets hung up on walls and trees and does not like tight spaces, which is unfortunate because there are a lot of small rooms and hallways in that game. They could have remastered the fact that Although your weapons will bounce off of walls, so you have to be very mindful of what weapon you're using in what situation. If you're in a narrow corridor, don't use like a big swing and axe. You're just going to bounce off the wall. Use like a pole arm or a rapier or something so you can go pokey pokey. Enemies, on the other hand, you might think, aha, this enemy has a big-ass sword that he swings in a wide arc, so I'm going to lure him over here against the wall, bait him into attacking, he's going to bounce off the wall, cause a big opening, I'm going to stab him right in the crotch! And you're going to feel so proud of yourself for, you know, taking advantage of the game's rules in a way that benefits you. No, you can't do that, because while your weapons will bounce off the walls, the enemies are bound by no such restriction. The enemy's weapons do not bounce off the walls or any solid object. Passes straight, clips straight through, doesn't matter. They're like, uh-oh, I got my bell rung. I better stand on the other side of this marble column or whatever so that I can heal really quickly. No, they'll just stab you right through the marble column. Like it's not even there. Well, they can't walk through it, but they can attack through it. They might have remastered the fact that sometimes enemy attacks will just clip straight through your shield. Now, to be clear, some attacks are unblockable. This is true. Some attacks, it doesn't matter if you're blocking or not, you're still going to get flung across the room. Because they just hit so hard. But there are instances, and it's frequent enough to be annoying, where a regular attack that is perfectly blockable will just clip straight through your damn shield and stab you right in the gut. It's annoying. Could have remastered that. The player character and the enemies' actions are governed by a stamina bar. Now, yours is, of course, visible to you, but the enemies all seem to have their own internal stamina bar, which prevents them from just spamming heavy attacks on you repeatedly until they break your guard, knock your ass over, and then kill you. Usually. Sometimes, however, enemies will just ignore their own stamina bars and just perform heavy attacks repeatedly, one after another, until eventually you run out of stamina, your guard breaks, and then they stab you in the face. Bamco didn't remaster any of that shit. And sadly, all of that shit manifests itself in the boss fight that I'm currently on right now, the Golden Boys. Which is unfortunate because it's a really well conceived and designed fight. It's just hamstrung by some really unfortunate issues that this game has. Issues that, for right now anyway, I'm no longer willing to put up with. I'm done. And that makes me very, very sad. Because I want to play more of this game. I genuinely, really love so much about this game, but man, some of it. I have long heard of people talk about Dark Souls bullshit. I had always figured that was a euphemism for the game's difficulty. Oh, that's bullshit! They're talking about the game's hard. It is. The game is genuinely a difficult game. But when people are talking about Dark Souls bullshit, I mean, sometimes I'm sure they're referring to the difficulty, but a lot of times they're not talking about the difficulty, they're talking about actual bullshit. Like characters leaping through the air at you and then adjusting their trajectory mid-air after you dodge out of the way. Characters that don't have, wings or rocket boots, who should not be able to adjust their trajectory in the air once they're flying at you. That's bullshit. Clipping through solid objects. Bullshit. Tracking and stabbing you through a wall. That's bullshit. I got killed by the... If you're really familiar with the game, the lobby outside the Golden Boys fight, there are two really big knights out there. I went through the Misty Gate to fight the Golden Boys, and I got stabbed in the back of the head through the goddamn door by the knight outside. That shouldn't happen. I mean, he's constantly clipping through that damn wall. He's standing there most of the time. Sometimes my camera gets caught on his shield and I can't see a damn thing. One time he stabbed me right in the back of the head. Right through the wall. That's not difficulty. The game is difficult. I want to be clear about that. Dark Souls is a difficult game. That's not difficulty. That's bullshit. And at this point, at this week at least, I'm not willing to put up with it anymore. I'm tired of the bullshit. Love the difficulty. I am drawing a distinction between the difficulty, which is there. I'm not saying the game isn't difficult. Oh, no, game's easy. I'm just tired of the bullshit. No, game is hard. And I'm tired of the bullshit. Which makes me very sad, because I would really like to play more into the game, but I just don't want to deal with the game right now. Maybe, in a couple weeks I'll pick it up again and try it some more. But, yeah, unfortunately for right now, I'm done with Dark Souls. And I'm not happy about it. Oh well. Chaos says that's just poor design. I can't imagine that the enemies were designed specific. Some of it is poor design, but for example, not telling the player that crystal weapons cannot be repaired. That's kind of shitty. And I think the whole idea of not being able to repair crystal weapons is bad design, because that makes crystal weapons, like Breath of the Wild weapons, useless. There's absolutely no reason to use them now. Why would you ever dump resources into a weapon that already has super low durability, so you can only use it for maybe 20 minutes before it's unusable and cannot be fixed? At least not without dumping a ton, going to the extreme of, picking up 15 bags of repair powder, if that would work. I'm not even terribly sure. That I don't agree with. But most of the stuff I don't think is bad design, because I think it's just they originally didn't have time to fix it. I don't believe that it's in the design document that your weapons should bounce off walls, but enemies' weapons should clip through them. I don't think that was intentional. I think that's something they probably just couldn't get to work. And I sympathize with that. I would probably be a lot more accommodating of some of this game's bullshit if we were back in, I don't know when the game came out, 2010, something like that. But no, it's 2021. This is the remaster. There's no excuse for this anymore. Fix your shit. Play Bloodborne, says Momo. I'll consider... As I was playing through Dark Souls, I was thinking, man, I really like this game, but I'm probably not going to play any of the others. Like, one Dark Souls is enough for me. Like, I really like this game, but I don't know if I want to play any more of it. But I do know that Bloodborne is mechanically very different from Dark Souls. So, maybe it would be worth checking out. So, but that's enough out of me. That's 70 minutes of Andrew goodness, I guess. We got to... I copped to being an asshole on Twitter. Talked about the Extra Life charity event, which I'm very excited for, and I hope you are too. we had a nice laugh over Bandai Namco logos. It was a nice evening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will join me tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time for some more Trails in the Sky. This will be stream number 7, I think, for this game. Doesn't really matter that much, but let me check. Doodly-scoo, scoobly-doo. Yeah, this will be stream number 7. So I've played the game for about 30 hours now. And tomorrow, we will just be starting into Chapter 2. Because I'm slow as hell at these games. But I did do some casino grinding. And by grinding, I mean save scumming. So, I bought everything I bought out the casino's prize booth, so that's fun. But yeah, we are going to a new area. I don't know if we're going to Grand Cell or Zeiss, or I think they said Zeiss. I think they said Zeiss. I think they said, I think we're going to go to Zeiss to see Professor Russell and Tita. I think that's where we're going next. So I hope you will join me tomorrow, noon Pacific Standard Time, and yeah, I will see you then. Have an excellent night, everyone. Bye-bye.